minutes over. Well, we are live. Okay. LinkedIn was out there, folks. It had a little like yellow, not going to go live on LinkedIn sign. I was like, you're kidding me. Like, come on, man.
Oh
We're
my
8 minutes
goodness.
over. It's not the end of the world. We needed a minute. Although you all wish you heard that conversation.
Most people need a minute with me anyways. I need a minute. I need a minute in life.
The
Um,
universe, everything.
yeah, release the Epstein files. Anyways,
Woo!
I have to take any opportunity I can on a soapbox to say that. Like, that's my new thing now, is I'm going to take any opportunity I can, no matter how inappropriate. I even said it at my dentist while they were working on my teeth. I was like, hi.
Y'all were here for the stand-up comedy, right? Like, you're here with us. Comment below.
Fuck marketing.
It is. Yeah. Tell us the
Oh,
last
I
thing you
forgot.
told
This
your
is
dentist.
LinkedIn's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, LinkedIn needs to, get a personality, so we're here for it. Although you got plenty in spades, Evan. That's what this is going to make this so glorious. I do have real, actual business questions, folks. We are just warming up, giving you all a minute to join us. If you are here, like I said, comment below. I'm not kidding. I want to know the last thing you told your dentist. Let's hear that.
I think it was that. I think it was that. So here's the thing. When I go to the dentist, so I have autism and I have ADHD. So I get really oversensitized. I request like that they, like when you have like a little kid goes and they need like that laughing gas stuff to keep them calm. I'm that 31-year-old that still gets drugged up at the dentist, even if it's just a routine cleaning, because I will be so oversensitized and I'll struggle to like sit still. And afterwards, I'll feel like I've been hit by a bus if I don't get all of that. So I don't have much memory, actually, of what I say at the dentist.
Oh, wow. Let's record it next time. It'd be like that Charlie, what was that video, that meme that went around of the kid coming out of the dentist? That was so good.
Oh, Charlie bit my finger?
Was it Charlie bit my finger?
I don't remember if that was related to the dentist, but we are aging ourselves.
Oh, we are.
Everybody under like 27 has no idea what we're talking about.
That's okay. They're not here anyway. They're not my audience. It's all about the millennials.
I'm so
if I can't drop
we love you, but I know we're sounding like boomers right now.
Somebody asked me. Okay, I'm gonna totally share my age. Somebody asked me yesterday. We were talking at I was at tennis and we were having a drink afterwards, and we were talking about gaming consoles, and I was like, oh yeah, my first gaming console, which I still think is like probably one of the top best consoles, was the original Nintendo. He was like, original Nintendo. I was like, yeah, before the Super Nintendo. He's like, Super Nintendo? I was like, oh my god.
Just Nintendo.
Before the N64, there was 2 other consoles. Yeah, he's like, so how's your 40th birthday gonna be? I was like, yeah, you hit that one on the head. Well done, sir. That is, I could, tell people's age by what console that they are talking about.
I usually use phones, but like, so I am what is called by certain generational psychologists and anthropologists as a zillennial, because I'm on the younger end of millennial, and sometimes millennials will say things that I don't quite relate to or get, because I was ever so slightly too young for, and then I'll lean towards the Gen Z side of things. But then Gen Z will say something, and I'm like, I don't get it. And then, so it's like being on the cusp of 2 generations, where it's like, I know I'm like 60% millennial is how it feels most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I ask a millennial, when you think of Britney Spears, what's the first song that comes to mind? Mine is Work Bitch.
That was a later album, wasn't it?
Or like Till the World Ends or something.
Yeah,
like that's her like later stuff. Yeah, like post-shaving head era. So
yeah. I don't remember her at all.
Yeah, and then Gen Z's like, I don't think I know. So that's how I know I'm like on that weird cusp, because like my first cell phone was a flip phone Razor, but in 6th grade.
Oh, hey, oh, yeah. My first phone was in high school, and it was a flip phone Razor, but it was in high school.
You're my sister's age, so that
I'm on the other side. I'm an elder millennial.
Yeah, my sister's an elder millennial, so she and I have this debate often. Yeah, of like she feels like she relates to sometimes Gen X stuff also. So yeah, I
Yep.
get it.
Same. Same. And then sometimes I feel really young compared to Gen X when they like, yeah,
Well,
it's
speaking of
funny.
marketing, I know I'm a millennial because I buy things based on the packaging and then realize I like the product in that order.
Yes, I do that too.
I bought this coffee non-spawn based on the packaging. I was like, oh, I like this.
I will not buy something because of the packaging. I don't care how good
Yeah,
the product
I will
is.
buy an inferior product because it looks better.
Yeah, I love going to the toothpaste aisle because all the packaging is just slightly different. So I have
Yeah,
options even though the product is exactly the same.
yeah. Shout out to Hello, my favorite toothpaste brand that I bought solely because the packaging is aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, it matters. It matters.
That's why I bought a Quip
Branding.
toothbrush because it looks better than a Philips.
Yes. I have a pink toothbrush. I was determined. I was like, I want this one that's not a brand name because it's pink, and that's what I want in my life is a pink toothbrush. So that's what
And
we do
that's how you
here.
market to millennials.
Design matters. I can't like. I'm so grateful to have hired a design firm and like actually because I was doing
I'm
all the
working
design
with them
myself.
as of yesterday.
How's it? Oh, so you got started. So
As
you
of
haven't been
yesterday.
as of
Yeah,
yesterday. So so
They still
tomorrow will
have time to
be.
mess it up.
Well, tomorrow you'll get your first design, so you'll get to really see whether, how it goes. 48-hour
Fair.
turnaround, baby. I'm here for it.
Yeah, but I also forgot to put in the brief yesterday. So
Now you're looking at like Tuesday if you're lucky.
I'm really good at this. I'm really good at this.
Chat will help you out with just tell them all the things and do a big paragraph and then chat will fill it in for you. It'll be fine.
I'd say I would hire an assistant, but I also know me, like I'm like the kid in the group project in school that just goes, "Let me do it myself. I don't trust new people."
Yeah, I was that kid. No, I'm an only child. I have total only child syndrome, and so group projects were not my thing. I just basically did the work because I just
But
am
I
not.
also have ADHD, so no one gets it done. But so it's a double-edged sword of like it's a very ineffective control freak.
Yeah, but for me, it always got done, but it was like at the the top of the hour. Like I have an hour to
Yeah,
get
usually too. Yeah. I
Share
need
it out.
deadlines or nothing gets done. Yeah.
Yeah, same. And don't bother giving me a deadline a month from now. Like you really need to like the 40 I think that's why I really love the 48-hour turnaround because I need the 40 I need that deadline of
Oh yeah. I was at I have a lot of friends that are drag queens and they often say that they're like a liquid. If you give them 6 hours to get ready, they'll take the 6-hour container, to get ready. Yeah. Um
that's
you got
amazing.
if you give them 2 hours, they'll find a way to get the exact same result done, but in 2 hours. Yeah.
Plus product.
That's how I
Product.
feel.
Oh my god. I love it. Evan, we talked a few last year? A few
I
years
think
ago?
it was
We
last
talked a
year or
while
2
ago.
years. Yeah. Yeah, it was a
Uh,
while
t
ago.
Times have changed. You're doing a whole new thing now. Why don't you tell us what you're up to? Give us an
What am I
update.
up to? Someone tell me. When you all find out, let me know. Um, no, I've been focused on 2 types of work primarily, fractional marketing leadership and personal branding and mostly ghostwriting, personal CMO approach. And I've also been like, I still love my B2B SaaS girlies and all that, but I've been I guess like my new bread and butter that I've been finding a lot of not just success in, but also personal fulfillment and interest in is in like professional services, consultant firms, custom solutions firms. Um, I kind of accidentally fell into that world about 2 to 3 years ago through a client of mine named Ben Mansfield, and he owns Terra Rossa Impact Advisors. And since then, I've just realize like, okay, I like these people. I like this space. Nothing against VC backed startups, but there's a very different culture in that industry, in that space.
Totally.
And for some reason I'm just a lot more compatible with it.
That's awesome. Hey, way to find I feel like it's so much easier to work on a brand when you actually A, really like the people, and B, believe in what it is you're doing. So hats off to you for finding both. That's a
Yeah, I think it's one step further than that even also. It's their approach to business. I think
same.
when you're selling a service that's not a like, SaaS, it is a product that functions as a service. These people aren't selling products, they're selling services, like straight
Right.
up pure services, right? So they know that they're getting hired by people that trust them to do what they
Mhm.
do best,
Yep.
whether that is because they don't have the time to do it, the bandwidth to do it, or the know-how to do it. So you can imagine that it's very easy in the flip side when they hire somebody, they have that same ethos. Where in the SaaS world, that does not exist.
No. Yeah. You're
As
trying.
much as people in SaaS claim it does, it doesn't. At least not it's not the norm. And I have really appreciated that about the professional services. The other thing about professional services is no amount of funding, no amount of marketing will fix whether or not you're good at it. Where in the SaaS world, you could have a genuinely mediocre product and kill the competition because you had great connections and were able to get a $10 million seed round, and be
Mhm.
overvalued in every potential way. Where in this world, it doesn't matter who you know, what you know, completely. It still matters to some degree. But at the end of the day, if you're not good at it, it won't
Yeah.
last.
Are you on the B2B or B2C side?
I'm on B2B. These are all B2B. My clients are all B2B. And I've also focused more on people that their average deal size is like 5 figures and up on a monthly
Yeah.
basis. That's been the other trick. SaaS is not right now, and with the way the economy is, marketing is is like this, if not HR, it's the second thing on the chopping block at most SaaS companies.
Yep.
And we're in and then they wonder why their pipeline dries up. I'm like,
Yep.
where do you think your pipeline came from?
Oh.
Professional services does not seem to be doing that. And a pro tip to any freelance marketers out there: find a company where after 1 to 2 sales, you're already profitable.
Paying for yourself. Yep.
Basically, yeah, because that way you can charge $20,000-$30,000 a month and nobody balks at it because at that point it's basic math.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
close
get better or more
3 deals.
valuable. I just focused on an audience that can afford to pay me correctly.
I mean, that's half the battle. 3/4 of the battle. I mean, I think we're all in sort of trying to figure that out, but it's interesting. Why did you go, what made you go fractional and off on your own versus trying to find a full-time gig?
Mental health, mainly, honestly. I know that can kind of be the woo-woo answer to some people, but um, when I worked in startups in the past where I was very happy, um, I was kind of treated like, like, oh, you're like the jobs I've had where I'm happy. I was trusted. They got out of my way. They knew what I was good at, and they set me up for success. And they were there when I needed them, but they got out of my way and let me cook. Let me do what I need to do. Let me do what I do best. We'll all win here. And um, and I, in my head, even before I was self-employed full time, I've always had some sort of side hustle going on. I always treated my boss or my employer like my client because at the end of the day, it's not about doing your job well. It's about making your boss's job easier.
It's true.
Um, that was what I was taught very early on by my parents. The best way to move up in the world is figure out how your job impacts everybody else around you. And that is the definition of being good at your job, not whatever they tell you the definition of being good at your job is in the JD. And that would create friction, because that also meant that I was also the person that would go like, that's not going to work, or this isn't how this works, or so when you're a W-2 employee, you're often expected in these places to fall in line,
Right.
and do what Mr. CEO says. And it's not that I'm being insubordinate. I'm sorry, I thought you paid me to tell the truth. And I'm
Yeah.
saying that from where I'm seated, that's not going to work. And here's evidence as to why.
Yep.
And I'm going to sound so egotistical and cocky, but I have yet to be proven wrong in 31 years on this earth every time that has happened. in business at least.
Yeah,
There are
having
times in my life
reputation.
I've been wrong, but that's not one of the times I've been wrong. And so by being self-employed, I noticed I was able to curate more experiences like the positive ones that I had, because for some reason, the minute you go from W2 to 1099, people treat you completely differently. The interviews are a lot more collaborative. They're not even interviews really.
I
They're
would
more,
agree with
how
that.
can we work together? It's
Mhm.
more like dating. Which is, dating sucks, but I would rather it be that versus this, like, I never understood why job interviews are a why should we hire you and not a why should
Mhm.
we work together
Yeah,
conversation. It never made sense to me why I have to earn the job and then it's my turn to ask if I want
capitalism.
to work there. That's not how that works. Why is it you then me?
Yeah, welcome to capitalism.
Yeah, that's, to make a long story short, it was really to curate a life that I wanted and work on things and with people that like look forward to logging in onto every day.
You said you kind of fell into the audience 3 years ago. Um, did you try other audiences before that? What was sort of the I would say based off of our conversation, and we're gonna sort of pull back the onion here in a second, but I would say you are currently being, very successful in what you're doing, but we know that didn't happen overnight. So can
Oh,
you share with us sort of the before journey, before you found this audience in the sweet spot?
yeah. I've been posting on LinkedIn for about 5-6 years now, and I have been working in sales development, marketing, business development for almost 15 years now. Jesus. I started when I was 15 years old. Um, making content online for gaming companies for the same purposes that I make content now for Teravasa, for example, or Revology. And um, I have moved from gaming to having day jobs in nightlife and hospitality while still doing contract work for gaming companies at night. And then I got to, I worked in retail furniture sales while getting my insurance license. And so, like, I did a lot of random jobs all up until about age 24. And I was less focused on industry, and at that age, more focused on paycheck and what was I good at, right? In terms of the job itself. It wasn't until I got to Chicago where the conversation started to shift, because there's typically a point in your career where it's like, okay, I know what I'm good at. That's not the issue anymore. Now I need to figure out where I'm good at it.
Sure.
So when I got to Chicago, my first job was at a contract job at some third-party logistics broker that should not be named because it was like one of the worst places I've ever been in my entire life. And but then while working there, I was looking for a job that I really wanted, and I got a job at a company called Broker. Still think very fondly of them today. They're a insurance technology startup. And while working there, I started my ICP, my assigned demographic to do business development towards was venture capital backed SaaS companies. And regardless of what lane of SaaS, and even then, some of it wasn't SaaS. Sometimes it was biotech. I even worked with some cannabis companies that were VC backed. And because I worked in insurance, I also understood business because it was commercial insurance. So I understood, like, why a business cares about these things, how to protect their revenue, how to protect their liabilities, D&O insurance, E&O insurance, all these things that most people have no idea what the hell I'm saying right now because this is a marketing show. I understood the importance of this on marketing, on sales, and these things because that was a part of the job.
Right.
And I realized, oh, I like the innovation and the entrepreneurial spirit that these people have at these companies, because I was speaking to the founders. Even if they were CFOs, they were also like the founder typically.
Mhm.
So um, I quickly realized that I wanted to work with people like that. And I didn't leave Broker on my own accord. That was a COVID related layoff. But I kept that in the back of my mind when I was applying for new jobs, was I want to work at a VC backed, SaaS startup going forward, because that's where that spirit is. Now fast forward a few years to a couple of years ago when I started having a major mental health crisis. Um, and I was just very unhappy. I realized that I was working in sales tech and martech and, within the SaaS world, and it's a very incestuous pool, for lack of a better description. Anybody who works in that space knows that.
Mhm.
And the culture, and this is not a dig at it, but for me, felt very much like my high school experiences.
Fair.
And
Real
there
quickly.
was a lot, yeah, there's a lot of people that were just really good at marketing, which is a great valid skill. But I'm not out here trying to, do a Richard measuring contest for those that get the joke. On LinkedIn of who's got the better marketing. I want to do actually good marketing. So my content, I was like, well, what I've been making content about marketing and sales for other marketing and sales people for 5 years. And it's so obnoxious because everybody and their brother has an opinion, and 90% of these opinions are unqualified because 90% of these people got the job because they're a straight white man who knew somebody,
Right.
or they got a rich mommy and daddy who sent them to Stanford or Princeton. And they have unethical business practices. They're not as self-made as they think they are. They don't know what they're talking about. The list goes on. And I got sick and tired of how angry it would make me.
Sure.
And through the mental health crisis, I spent a lot of time working on emotional regulation skills. And one of the things they teach you with, when you're late stage diagnosed with autism, ADHD, and borderline personality disorder all in 1 year, um, is that sometimes it's not about emotional regulation. Sometimes it's about, why do you keep going into rooms that make you so miserable?
Oh,
So
such a
now,
good question.
yeah, so and also cliche, very 29-year-old like life problem to have, right? Where it's just like, I'm about to enter my 30s and I'm kind of taking audit of the first 10 years of my adult life, and you're talking like what's been
Yeah.
working, what's not working, right? So made different changes in my social life, everything. And Ben Mansfield found me through my content before the mental health crisis and hired me as a consultant for a startup of his. And he became a very good friend and mentor. And today he's not just a client of mine, he's a business partner of mine. We're launching a new business together.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
he's also my executive coach. And one thing I learned through working with him is I want to do work similar to what he does for a living. But at the same time, I found that, I really like launching businesses. I really like the early stage go to market strategy. I love working with people that don't know how to do marketing. But they understand the importance of
Important.
it. They are
Mhm.
consummate professionals and A-star players at what they do. They
Yes.
just need someone to help them get what they do, seen, bought, heard, and heard.
Yes.
And I found through Ben somebody that saw my ability to do that before I knew I had the ability to do that.
Oh, it's so awesome.
And Ben had that happen to him when he was around my age. So I've been very
Oh
thankful
my
to have a lot of people like him in my life. Joe Caprio was kind of the one that pushed me to really, double down on LinkedIn, because he said, like, Evan, don't water yourself down and clean up the way you talk. That audacious flamboyancy of you is actually what's going to do you some good in your career. Right. So I have a list of people that were very pivotal in my life professionally. So when Ben did that 3 years ago, and I was like, kind of going through backtracking, like, what were the traits of the people that I liked working with the most? Not just from employers, but also like clients and colleagues and stuff. And I was like, well, who has all those traits? And it was all the people that fit that world that Ben was from. And so I was like, how do you get people like Ben? And I'm like, and then I talked to Ben, I talked to Melissa Moody, I did a lot of Googling and YouTube and talking to marketers that had like 10, 20 years of experience on me. And I was like, yeah, Evan, you have to shift how you market yourself. You have to come up with the product. The product now is, I want to help people who can't do this themselves. So I have to stop making content for marketers and salespeople
Mhm.
like younger me needed to get a marketing job, because I was being hired by VPs of marketing, CMOs, and VPs of sales.
Mhm.
Now I'm being hired by the CEO to be the CMO. You don't do that by talking about marketing best practices. You talk about doing that by talking about, like, this is why marketing is important. This is what you need as a business. You come at it from a different perspective. So once I started shifting my content, it took me about 2 to 3 years to really figure out how I want to approach that from a marketing, from not just a positioning perspective, but like refining how to get the thoughts that I knew I had up here out there. That's
Yeah.
such a hard thing, as you know, as a marketer,
Yeah.
especially when it's personal thoughts, right?
Mhm.
And then after I got that figured out and business started to come in, um, I invested in hiring a BDR for me. That helped me focus, take some of my time off of my plate and let me just focus on what I do best. So I could do less on the prospecting and more on the marketing. So I
Yep.
focus on all of my inbound, but he focuses on all of my outbound. And
Amazing.
then now I'm focused more on how do I inject more of my comedy back into it, because I sucked that out of it for a while intentionally. I stopped being funny for a while because I wanted to focus on what's going to move the needle the most, which is being good at this.
Right.
So now I'm in a new stage in my career where I want to focus on, I've got like the new business that Ben and I are going to be working on together is kind of like my last test for me, by me, for me, to get the skills that I need to be able to start moving towards more overall go-to-market strategy and business consulting and business launching. That's the realm that I see myself in the second half of my 30s. It's not from a confidence issue. I know I have I know I can do it, but I also know that I'm not in a hurry to get there. I'm 31
Yeah.
years old. I've got plenty of time
You
to
do.
get the skills and the experience to be good enough to do that. So I'm very privileged. I get to work now alongside people in that capacity, but those people, they have the years and experience I just don't have yet. So I get to do it in a safe space, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you've definitely built up your cabinet of people who,
Yeah.
not only are looking out for you and taking care of you, but are helping you level up to the next level. You've really done a good job of finding those folks, and aligning to them and wanting to follow in their footsteps and
Yeah.
being very coachable to do it. So I think that's a huge testament to you and to all of us as we think about, like, where we wanna go and who do we wanna surround ourselves with. And I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like too, these are people who are building you up, but they're not doing it in a way. I'm reading it as not, generally when people get good at business, they start to surround themselves with a lot of yes men, which is
Yeah.
a whole
No,
other
no.
conversation, which I know it doesn't sound like you've done. And I just want to make that really critical to how you find those folks and build that sort of cabinet of people who build you up and help you get to that next stage in a way that isn't just co-signing your bullshit.
Yeah, I honestly, therapy really was how I got better at picking better people to surround myself with, in and out of work. And this is advice I was told not to do when I was younger, but I've learned it's been nothing but good. Is I work with people that I could see myself being friends with. And now, granted, you and I both know that if you take that logic and you apply it to certain people, that means people that look like you, sound like you, and talk like you. But for some of us who aren't Republicans, that means that doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
I value that diversity in my life, not just from the cliche definitions of diversity, but just the different, lived experiences
Mhm.
of, growing up poor versus rich, middle class. I only have one client in America. I have over 20 clients.
Right.
All of my clients are outside of the United States.
That's wild.
Half of them are in countries where English is the second language, not the first language. Um, I have clients that are currently dealing with like war in the same
Mhm.
like country that they're in, like actual war. And so I have made it very clear, like I only want to work with people that I enjoy working with. I never want to not enjoy myself at work. Um, and that doesn't mean I won't hear things that I don't want to hear but need to hear. But I surround myself with people that I would invite to stay in my guest room at my home.
Amazing.
That's kind of the litmus test.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's been very helpful to
Hats
work
off
with
to
people
you.
that even if we weren't clients or coworkers or colleagues or business partners, at a minimum we would be friends.
Yeah, I just love how you built that up too, because so many times we join, like, different organizations that, there's EO and YEC and Vistage and a whole bunch of these places, but I do find that then you don't get to pick your people, and I just really love how you've handpicked these folks, and I think we can all really take a page out of that book. Something you mentioned, 20 clients, that's no joke. And especially for what you sort of mentioned before, I'm sure you're not charging them all,
No,
20
I only
grand,
have
but
2 clients over 15K. I think
yeah,
people need to most of my
yeah.
clients will pay me closer to 5K, and even then, that's before business expenses and taxes, so don't get too impressed, y'all.
But still, that's a lot of context switching. That's really tough to do. So how are you one, I wanna know how you're managing it, and then I have a follow-up question around some of the trends you're seeing.
Yeah, so from managing it, I have, very thankfully, so I am thankfully actually at a point now where I see my therapist on an as needed basis. And I now spend that time and money on a ADHD executive functioning coach. So not Ben's an executive leadership coach. When I say executive, I mean like executive presence. This is an executive functioning, getting things done coach. And so the things that I've learned to help me in my personal life, as anybody who has ADHD knows, like just habits don't happen to people with ADHD. Like everything takes effort. Everything is climbing Mount Everest. There's an analogy where it's like you go in your kitchen and turn on your burner on your stove and put
Mhm.
your hand on it. Your reactions, why the hell? What? No, I'm not going to do that. Like, but you can. You can logically see like how you could move your hand and put it on the flames. And like, yeah, like that level of like hesitancy to touch that fire is how it feels for an ADHD person to brush their teeth, take a shower, put on clothes. Like, so no, it's not laziness, it's not procrastination. Like that is literally how doing anything feels. So, the what I've learned, I've had to learn tricks on how to do that, which is really helpful for learning how to context switch. Because once you learn how to work with your brain and speak its language for yourself by yourself, um, you realize that ADHD it's not a superpower. It's very debilitating, but it can be used as a superpower if you learn how to master it. So for me, it's that has been able to help me have that capacity is come up with systems for my own internal business operations that set me up for success. I still don't work 40 hours a week and I have over 20 clients. So because I have come up with ways to get me into flow state where I'm extremely productive consistently on call when I need to. I have come up with ways to give myself the time off I need to recharge and get more creative. The list goes on. I have changed what I eat, what I drink, when I sleep, everything, so I could do my business better. Heck, even where I do karaoke has changed for my business. Literally, it has affected my business by changing to which karaoke bar I go to because the types of people that go to this karaoke bar are like lawyers, doctors, nurses, business people, professional singers and dancers and drag queens and artists because it's on Tuesdays when they're not at their gigs. People that are on all the Broadway shows that come to Chicago come to this bar. But so I'm surrounded by very self-made, ambitious, driven people. So I leave every Tuesday feeling so, and it's like the biggest crack cocaine hit possible of energy, right?
Right.
Little tiny things like that help me do all that context switching because now I'm looking forward to, I get to go home and work on this white paper now that I just geeked out about with these people at this bar that do not owe me any of that, but like that's just what we all love our jobs, so
Oh,
we get to nerd out about these things together while we're singing show tunes. You
you
know,
hacked your life.
I
You've
have really focused a lot on that. Yeah. That
that
the other trick is the software. Coming from the SaaS world, I get
yeah.
to take a lot of all the knowledge that I've learned about SaaS. So I've been experimenting with new software to help me with that. Just the ADHD. I use Streaks. If anybody's ever heard of it, it's not a very popular app yet, but they should be for habit building. Um, it's free to use. I fucking love it. It uses gamification to help you like build habits, and
Oh,
it works on
fun.
your computer and your phone, everything. Then for my task management software, everybody loves Monday and Asana and Trello and all that stuff. I'm like, listen, I do not have a problem with those things, but I don't care if the company has their own thing. I always live in first and foremost Todoist, because it is the most ADHD friendly version. I have spent time with my ADHD coach learning the get it done methodology of get all the tasks out of your head onto paper or into the inbox of Todoist. And then you go through, like, if it can get done in less than 5 minutes, just do it right now. If it
Mhm.
can be delegated, delegate it. If it no longer needs to happen, delete it. And if it can be done later, just put it for later. Not when, just for later. And So, and I just have one project. Like, that's it. Like, I don't have all the, like, it's the most simple to-do list. I have automated everything I possibly can in it. I use Spark Mail so I can highlight line items within an email, and it will automatically make that thing and move it to the inbox of Todoist. And then I use Firefly. I used to use Fathom, but Firefly connects with Todoist. And every time I have a meeting, it takes all of the asks and tasks and put them in that inbox. And then twice a day, Todoist, which syncs with my Google Calendar, which I live, breathe, eat, sleep, die on. Hell, when I'm hanging out with my partners, those dates are on my calendar. Like, it tells me when to go into Todoist and puts aside the time for me to go into Todoist to do that thing I just told you about, where you go through what gets done in 5, what gets delegated, right, so on and so forth. And so none of things get automatically sorted when I automatically port it over there, but it's at least getting put into the place where I need to sort it. Then what Streaks does is I get to mark that I did it, and I get that little dopamine
Is there
hit
like
that I
little
need.
unicorns that jump out or anything? Fireworks?
No, there's
Sparks fly?
confetti. There's confetti.
Well, there's long as there's something. It's
Yeah.
gotta be.
I also, in my money life, I actually like set aside like an amount of money to buy my something that I don't need but really want.
I love
At the end of each week, month, and quarter,
Just
kind of like a
everything.
bonus to myself. I can buy this frivolous thing that I objectively don't need. Yeah. So it's not a,
Classic.
it's not a vacation. It's like this this really stupid, silly like video game that I don't need, or this I like recently I've been really wanting to redo my bedroom, so I just splurged and bought a bunch of new furniture and decor for my bedroom. That was my treat to myself for spending like 3 months in a row consistently building these habits that I promised I would give myself if I did that. So but also in the meantime, like treating myself to buying that, like some people, when they get delivery for on Uber Eats or stuff, some people feel awkward ordering themselves a meal from a 5-star restaurant. I will let myself do that if I've earned it.
I love that.
I'll get fucking Gibson's delivered. Like,
Absolutely.
because nothing
That's the
beats.
thing.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
get Gibson's Steakhouse delivered while I'm stoned in my underwear in my living room watching RuPaul's Drag Race because I earned it.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is the beauty of you doing you and owning your own business and being able to find ways to like hack your brain for productivity like that. I know so many folks with ADHD and they need that thing to look forward to keep them
You need
motivated
something to
and
look
keep
forward
going.
to, and you also need instant gratification. And I think people think instant gratification means impatience. No, it's not. People with ADHD do not do well when the gratification is delayed. We need little like moments of
You do.
celebrating progress along the way. They often say like break up the tasks and the subtasks so you don't get overwhelmed. For some of us, that's helpful. For other half of us, it's not the subtasks make it less overwhelming. It's also it gives us opportunities to see visually how far we've come from where we started. That's why the Pomodoro technique is so popular. It's why they tell people to use clocks like this with ADHD so you can visually see time passing.
Oh,
So
that's
you can
cool.
see that you've done something. Right? But
Yeah.
you also have an end time too. Little tiny things like that have made it so I can handle that many clients. And also picking like my fractional clients. I only have like 4 or 5 fractional clients at a time. The majority of the clients are the ghostwriting stuff. You work in marketing, so that's a bit run of the mill. Like it's very easy for me to like spend 2 hours and knock out all of their content for a month in 2 hours. Like
Right.
it's not that hard because at the end of the day, the only thing I'm doing differently is the messaging.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you get into a flow state. Let's talk about that for a second. If you're working across all these clients and you're doing all this writing for them and you've been on social forever, what's sort of the trends now? I mean, I think we're all trying, like banging our heads against the LinkedIn wall, trying to figure out like what on earth is happening. Um, but what are you seeing in terms of things that are working and not working in the land of content, both from a writing perspective, but also from from a launching and publication standpoint of.
Yeah, from a writing perspective, people want personality. People want people buy from people they like. People buy from people they enjoy working with and look forward to working with. it's not enough to be good at what you do
Right.
anymore. You have to be someone that people look forward to working with. So so one of my I've turned down clients because you're just not entertaining. You're not interesting, and I can't make you that way. I'm sorry. Go get a personality. Come back later.
Not personal. Yeah.
I that's one of the things that it's harsh, but it's true. In order to succeed on social media, you can't just be smart.
What does
You
it mean?
have
This is going to sound really weird and dry, I guess, but like, what does it mean to have a personality or
it's
not have
funny,
one?
charismatic, witty, emotionally provocative, uh, sympathetic, empathetic, outgoing, boisterous. There's a lot of quirky, profound, divisive. Hell, look at Trump. I mean, he's an idiot, but he's good at grabbing people's attention.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? So I hate the man, but he is a master class in marketing. You know, not at least in the short term, not in the long term. Terrible class in PR. But so the point I'm getting at is you have to be good at giving people a reason to hear you out. And a really good way to do that is to be somebody that people want to know and people want to be in the same room with. And that is, in being smart's not enough. I can find a ton of people that are good at what you do. Why you though? You know?
Right.
Oh, because you'll like working with me. Okay. That's a differentiating factor. That's a brand differentiator. And so I focus on that. I don't write for the algorithm at all anymore. I mean, like there's still some things that are best practices that you and I both know. Hooks, you know, write with mobile in mind, right? But
thinking about the audience.
I'm writing about the audience. I also don't focus on impressions and views because my clients are working in such a niche spaces where like 1,000 views might be 100,000 views in a different space, right? Because out of the number of people on LinkedIn, you know, this slither of them even work in that space. And then an even smaller slither of them check LinkedIn once a month. And then an even smaller slither of that slither will hit like or comment, you know?
Right.
So it's like managing expectations of like good for you might be 250 views because I can get you 100,000 views, but only 250 of those views will matter. So why am I going to put all this effort into getting you 200,000 views if 250 of the right views is still better no matter what?
Yeah.
Like I would rather focus on the quality of the conversations that start in your inbox and the number and the types of people that book meetings from you. So every time I do reporting for my customers, I don't show them the analytics of their content. I don't talk about their engagement rate or their follower count or their view rate. I talk about this percentage of your viewers are your ICP. This percentage of your viewers are adjacent to your ICP. This is your pipeline before this content. This is your pipeline after this content. These are the people that have said that they found you through your content. These are the people that haven't said it, but they DM'd you on LinkedIn. So I can only assume that that is why. So I do not even bring up followers, likes, impressions, or anything at all when I'm talking to my customers. I talk about how does this impact your bottom line?
Absolutely. And I think that's so important and something we definitely I can say for myself, definitely get stuck on of like, is 250 impressions even any good? That seems to be where my content's hanging
It
out.
can be amazing.
Yeah. And to your point, so I guess my question is like, okay, the impression volume and the engagement isn't as important. The DMs, obviously, and the revenue. Is this the only thing that most of these folks, because you said you're more in the early stage, is this really the only big push that they're doing right now where you can measure impact on pipeline because there isn't really much else happening? Or how do you know for sure that it was what you were doing from an attribution standpoint to know that is pipeline?
It's not the only thing for most of them. For some of them, it's the only thing because we just haven't gotten far along enough yet for me to expand. It's usually like, let's start there, right? It's the lowest hanging fruit for a lot of my clients. But regardless of whether it's that or the other, every good marketer knows you should spend time talking to the customers. You should spend time talking to the leads, even if they're in the process of becoming one, or even if they don't become one. And the other reason why I like B2B, and this might be a bit devious of me, is my clients' clients sometimes become my clients. So I know who all my clients are because I'm trying to sell to them as much as I am trying to do the job that I'm being paid to do at the same time. So a good marketer, a great way to pitch, hire me is to do the job in front of them,
Right.
right? So I go
Mhm.
to them and I'm like, hey, this is the head of whatever, I do this for that person you just spoke to. I know you didn't buy from them or whatever. And like speaking from business, I don't even work for them. I'm actually a business owner myself. From business owner to business owner, I'd love to know, how this happened, what happened, no, I'm not trying to change your mind or anything. The reply rate on that's like 90% because business
Okay.
owners love to help out other business
They
owners,
do. Founder
especially,
to founders, definitely.
yeah, there's a, even if they, most of my clients when they don't work together with somebody, the close loss reasons aren't like the close loss reasons in SaaS. It's budget issues. Like they
Right.
literally can't afford them.
Can afford it.
Or it really is bad timing. And
Mhm.
I know you and I both know like the cliche sales thing is like, well, we can make this great timing. No, sometimes it is bad timing.
Yep.
Sorry, I don't have I can afford you, but you need me to be involved for 10 hours
Mhm.
a week at the beginning. And that's fine. I understand. I don't have 10 hours right now.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
that's a reason, that's a valid reason that you shouldn't fight because that's
Yeah.
out of your control,
It
right?
is at it. Yep.
So, but they'll come to you when and if they can. That's
Yep.
that's the that's the, the
Build the
marketer's job
relationship.
is to make sure that they remember that you when they can, right?
Yeah.
I go one step further and say, how can I help you? I know it's not my job to help you, but I would like to offer it as a fellow business owner. That's the catch. I go to them and I figure out what the reason was and I offer support how I can on behalf of my client, but also on behalf of me.
But
Um,
that and that's just the
yeah,
circle of influence that then happens because you're paying it forward to them in a way that's both for both sides, your client as well as you, and, like, what a wonderful sort of world I don't wanna say you fell into, you made very intentional aspects to get here, but you're continuing to build on that in a really lovely way, and I think the founder
yeah.
to founder piece, as you start to build out your own business is so powerful, and I feel that too, and I think the fractional world sort of taking off in this moment because of how awful the, um the job market is. And so if you're out there looking for a job, I think Evan did a wonderful job today really breaking down some opportunities as it could pertain to you going out on your own and building up your own little empire over here. My last question to you, Evan, because Jesus Christ, I could talk to you all day.
We can do
Um,
another one of these. I don't
we might just have to. We might just have to. I do I do wanna know from a trending perspective and from all the content you've been producing, because you've
Yeah, like
made
what's
so much of
working?
it. Yeah, people obviously want personality, you've mentioned that, but what kind of content is actually working? Is it more we were talking about services, more service focused, problem solution? Is it like what are the trends you're seeing?
Case studies, storytelling, examples of things that are working, not working, and a lot of people are like, "Well, what do I do if I'm not even there yet?" Because talk about if somebody came to you with a certain problem, hypotheticals, basically hypothetical stories, hypothetical case studies. You're not lying, not making it up, but you're telling like if someone came to me with this question, this is what I would say. And make it a question that is a question that people actually do come to you or people in that space come to you with or come to people like you with. Those and speak plainly, say it the way that you would say it to someone's face.
I
Be extremely casual. That kind of content is what's working the most for my clients. Is the most stripped back, bare bones, least editing, least fluff, most like the way that they would explain. I even said, like, tell me how you would explain this to your 10-year-old at the dinner table.
Yes, I
Because
love
that's
that.
how I'm going to say it on LinkedIn. Because let's be honest, people are on LinkedIn at 1 o'clock in the morning, doom scrolling. And they go like,
I don't
well,
know
but
what
like
you're talking about.
I need this jargon, this, that. Well, yeah, I know they know the jargon. You know your audience isn't dumb. They know that. They know what you mean. They can read in between the lines. But they're not firing on all cylinders when they're scrolling. None of
Not
us
many.
are.
But we know that we need to
So
comment, so we'll try and find something to say.
yeah, so I'm like, so like just like you're not dumbing it down, you're simplifying it, you're making it easier to consume. So
I think
that's
this is
that's how I
really
do it.
I absolutely love that, and I think this is critical for 2 reasons. One is, it sounds like people are actually engaging with it, and it matters,
The funny thing
which
is my
is
clients have terrible engagement rates, but they have extremely high above average in like inbound DMs.
That's what I mean. So from a
Yeah.
working perspective,
Yeah,
it's
from a
doing what it's
working
supposed
engagement,
to.
right? Yeah, from a business perspective,
From a
yes,
business
it's
perspective,
working.
it's
From a
doing what it's supposed
marketing
to be
perspective,
doing.
it looks like shit on a dashboard.
No, that I have to say, this is making me feel so much better about my LinkedIn. Anyway, and this from an SEO and AEO standpoint, this is where it's all headed. I just had my I have a little meetup group, which you're going to get an invite to, Evan. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait. We meet, they're all fractionals. We meet one at the end of every month. And one of the gals, Heidi, went to a webinar where they talked about the importance of Q&A and FAQs on the bottom
Yeah.
of every single landing page,
You're gonna hate my
literally.
opinion though on it.
And from a social perspective, that's where this is where the LLMs are scraping, right? And they want
Yeah,
that
especially on Reddit.
conversational Q&A. Reddit's another place. So
Chosenly is a good agency. Excuse me, for anybody who needs to outsource it, by the way. I haven't used them yet, but I've heard great things. If you need to use somebody, non-spawn, but you know, it's because it's a lot of work.
it is a lot of work.
AEO is
we do AEO. Yeah, we do.
That's going to be a
SEO and AEO.
department
It is a lot of work
at some companies one day, you know, because that's a heavy lift.
It is, but this is one thing. If you needed to start and do something, this is one thing you can do and do really easily and really well from a founder perspective of just finding those questions. And I actually, Brandy, I'll find her last name and comment for her. She's awesome. She just posted yesterday about how she tells her founders to go through their inboxes and find the top 10 questions they get all the time.
Yeah. I come through my clients' inboxes a lot for content.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's
they send me their voice, they send me their call recordings, and then I take like all the transcripts, and then I go to ChatGPT to like find me the commonalities.
I love, yes. So I'm thinking for myself, I'm like, this is so dumb. Duh. Like everybody's saying it. I should have been doing this for a while now. So now even I'm gonna get
But my opinion though is my clients, I often tell them like SEO and AEO are like the foot traffic of the internet, right? Like the way like a restaurant might pick where they are in a city, right?
Right.
I'm like, do you have the kind of business that depends on foot traffic if it was in a city? And they go, no, not really. So why do you care about SEO and AEO? If you're a destination business, right? Like if you're the kind of business that people log into Google Maps to find out where it is and drive to it, it's not the kind of business that people stumble upon and go, that looks interesting, right? Why do you care?
Well, I mean, I have an estate planning client who's in, services.
I don't have,
very local.
yeah, that's the difference. My clients aren't doing estate planning. Estate planning is a great idea for that.
Right. They have longer term impact for sure. But I would say we all need it. The way that search is changing and website traffic is changing is it's all going to be showing up in the LLMs. People are not going to come to you until they absolutely need the thing they need. And so your website traffic is going to drop, but the conversion rates are going to go up. So
I just focus on the people that are already being pulled on those tools, like the McKinseys, the Gartners, whatever. And then I go and find their marketers and say, here's a report that my little, client agency did that you can use to make your report. So you have to reference us in your report that gets pulled up by them. So I don't have to do that. You can do it for me.
That's a lovely little backdoor right there.
Because my clients are B2B. And my clients' clients are governments. My clients are cities. My clients are billionaires. Okay. They're not Googling for things.
No, that's really valid. No, I think that's all about.
Yeah. If I had an estate planner client, SEO all the way, honey.
Yeah. That's the importance of really understanding your audience, right?
Yeah,
it's
my audience
really
SEO
unusual.
is not a priority.
Yeah, and that's actually really unusual, like for where you're sitting, right? Like I have another client who does this very specific niche thing. Nobody's Googling them.
Yeah, no one's Googling even that type of thing. You know what they're doing?
No, they're not. They don't even know it exists.
Who do you know does this?
What's the fuck is rail designation? What are you talking about? Nobody's Googling.
Caravasa does sustainable impact and housing community consulting.
Yeah.
Who's
No,
Googling a sustainable impact housing community consultant? No one.
right. But once they start hearing the name of the brand, then they might.
Then they
go
Google
do-
the name brand, but they're the only one called that. So they
Right.
can just go to the
Right.
website.
And then
at
they'll
that
go down
point.
the rabbit hole to understand and get to the
Yeah,
website. And do
that's
their
what I'm
research.
getting at when I talk about AEO and SEO is a lot of people get so excited about this new trend. And I'm like, ask yourself, does this trend apply to you still?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
before you get too excited.
But
Does
I
it
think what
matter to
you're
you?
doing, my point is regardless of whether they need it right now, what you're doing is naturally lending itself to it.
Yeah, I'm always considering it in the back of my mind, and I keep my client, as
You're just
marketers,
naturally doing it, whether
I
your
keep my client
client
ignorant because I don't want to get them too excited.
No, I mean they might not need it, and that's all well. They might not need it right now, and that's all well and good until you build up. If they ever get to a point where they're building up the
Oh, if they get them
category,
from like a Deloitte or a Charles Schwab, yeah, sure, but not. Yeah,
sure,
they're not going to be there
right.
anytime soon.
But for what you're doing right now and how you're naturally playing into it for the long game, it's going to benefit them in the long run. So
Yeah.
it's totally.
We could do 6
Too
of
nice.
these. We could do 6 of these episodes. It's a problem.
We could, and if you want more of this, you should just comment below, and we will make that happen about what you want to hear about next.
Yeah.
Because we
yeah.
could
At
talk
least the
all
Epstein
day.
files, by the way. Okay, so.
I think our next talk will be, you're writing a lot of content, but I would want to know what other kind of content is it all writing? Video?
For my clients or for me?
For your clients.
It's almost exclusively all writing. But I'm
Interesting.
expanding that soon thanks to a certain agency that you and I have met. And I also am working on more video content for myself that will be coming out later this year as well. I want to focus more on short form video because a lot of the posts that I write, I actually annotate first. And I think that if people know me and they meet me, you can hear my voice when you read my post.
Yeah.
But
totally.
if you've never heard my voice, you can't do that. So I'm looking for more ways to just vary how the same exact message is delivered.
Yeah. Video is definitely, especially for personal branding, has happening. So
yeah.
Anyway,
and I'm not selling water bottles, so I don't measure success based on the views. I'm measuring success based on the dollars.
That's right. That's what we're here for. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all need to be doing. So you got to be able to.
Also, it makes you happier when you don't care how many likes you get.
I gotta tell you, it would be freeing. It'd be freaking freeing. I keep thinking I need to crack the algorithm of LinkedIn, but I think there's just so many. Somebody said to me yesterday, he's like, "Oh my god, I love your content." I'm like, "Really?" Because you've never liked or commented. You are killing me, right? People just lurk. They read and they engage. They hang out. They don't engage, and that's just
I have so many friends that I have seen scroll on their phone, and then they laugh, they like something, and then they swipe. I'm like, no, go back to that fucking post and hit like. You liked it, so hit like. And people go like, I never do that. I never think to do that. I'm like,
killing me.
So what? So and then they complain about what's on their algorithm because they don't train the algorithm. So instead of fighting that, right? What I focus more now on is I make content with that in mind.
Yeah.
I make content knowing that you're not going to hit like, but you're going to remember it.
But you're going to remember it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Evan, where can people find you?
Not at my house. And on LinkedIn, you can find me, Evan Patterson, on LinkedIn. I'm not really anywhere else because nobody pays me enough to be anywhere else. I have a newsletter that is sign-upable via my website, but I'm also going to be moving it to LinkedIn as well soon. So follow me, turn on notifications and all of that, and hire me.
All of the above. All of the above. Yeah. Evan, I'm so grateful. Last question for you. What is currently, outside of all this amazing work you're doing, what's currently bringing you joy?
I have gotten back into improv comedy stuff here locally in Chicago. Awesome. More for hobby, just because I have I don't want to do comedy full time as a job or career. What I want to do is build a career where they live harmoniously as one job, not as two jobs simultaneously. I'm creating a job for myself. You know, there's not yet been a celebrity CEO who, when they do their TED talk or their speech at Dreamforce, is also the funniest, like Jimmy Carr level style monologue, right? Why can't I have both? You know, at the exact same time, not in the exact same life. So that's kind of what I'm working on, is honing in my skills on both sides of that fence and
Yeah.
figuring out new and creative ways where I can make that same raunchy dick gay joke that I make at the club while talking about PLG.
Worlds are colliding. Authenticity is here to stay, folks. Take it or leave
Listen,
it. And
if a convicted felon and pedophile can become president, I can make a gay joke on LinkedIn.
At the very least. Amazing. Amazing. I mean,
I'm sorry for hijacking your podcast and my political commentary, but
no, I mean,
we're living in
time. I mean, this is what we're talking about. I mean, this is a case in point around authentic content, around being yourself, standing up for what you think, and giving people. Being divisive is a great is
yeah.
is
And if someone's
definitely.
got something mean to say, tell me, because I love it when it's my turn.
Oh, the trolls on LinkedIn. Stay away.
I love
Don't leave
it.
your
Yeah, say
energy.
something mean to me so I can say something meaner back, because mine will be at least funny.
Fair enough. Oh, Evan, thank you so much. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and share.
And if you don't like it, fix who you are as a person.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I believe that. You might not believe that, but I believe that.
I believe everybody should be in therapy. It's wonderful. It changes lives.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, fix who you are. That could mean therapy. That could mean deport yourself to Mars.
Yeah, everybody needs to grow. Everybody's got to Mars. I can't do that. I just can't. We are going to end this episode. It's going to be great. This episode is brought to you by MKG Marketing, the marketing operating system that helps you get your marketing back on track to growth. And we are here for it. We work with people like Evan. So if you would like to learn more about how to plug Evan into the operating system and get your marketing up and running, let's make it happen. Thank you all so much. See you. We are out next week, but we'll be back the week after for another episode. See you then.